if you have ever listened to this podcast or you like this podcast or it's the first time listening to this podcast, I swear to God, I swear on my life, this podcast is amazing. Today, this episode specifically. I can't guarantee all about all the rest of them, but today's episode is amazing. Everything that you've ever liked in any piece of content that's around business, life motivation, inspiration, people doing cool shit, it is in this episode. I swear on my life, you will love this episode. And I've never said that before. This is the first time, and it's probably the last time I'll ever do that because I don't want to die. The last 20 minutes are by far the best. Make sure you get those last 20 minutes.
I feel like I can rule the world. I know I could be what I want to. I put my all in it like no days off. On the road, let's travel.
All right, we're live. Shaan, how you doing?
How am I doing? Dude, you know, it's funny. Some days I wake up and I'm Andrew Huberman's godson. I wake up, I stretch, I get my psoas loose, I get outside, I get some sunlight, I cold plunge, I sauna, I do everything. I meditate, I focus, I pray. I don't even believe in God. I'm just praying to the universe. I do everything. And then some days are like today, where I wake up and I just wage war for my boxers in my bedroom. I don't get out of bed. I open up my laptop. I'm like, oh, what's coming in? What's coming into the inbox? I'm ready. I put on my armor and I just start. I'm launching ad campaigns. I'm fighting off a cease and desist. I'm texting somebody. I'm diligencing a deal. And 3 hours fly by. I haven't brushed my teeth. I haven't changed my clothes. I'm like, I'm just sitting in bed. I do a Zoom call. They're like, are you in bed? I'm like, brother, I haven't gotten out of bed yet. I woke up and I was playing the game. And if I'm honest with you, if I'm totally honest with you, I never feel more alive than when I'm in that second mode. I'm sorry, Huberman. Forgive me. I just feel more alive when I do it the wrong way.
It usually starts with like something bad that you see, like a fire. Like, why the hell are we spending this much money on this? Or
yeah,
what did
exactly?
What did
that's
you
why
see?
I said wage war. It's because I'm like, something triggers me. I'm like, exactly. Why are the numbers lower than they should be? F this. I'm going to single-handedly change this dashboard right now. Or, somebody texts me saying, whatever, did you see this? Or, hey, we get an email in that's like, hey, you're screwed. I'm like, not only am I not screwed, I'm thriving. Hold on, just give me 90 minutes on this and I will turn this around. And I just like, I don't know. It's just, it gets something in me. Something comes out of me that's just more valuable than all of the good, healthy stuff.
Years ago, we talked about a company on here called Jambies. And I felt it was the stupidest idea that I've ever heard. I think it was underwear that you could wear as shorts.
Bro, I'm not going to flash the audience, but just so you know, I'm potting in Jambies right now.
And that's what I was going to ask. Were you wearing Jambies? I thought it was the dumbest idea. And you're like, oh, I own a bunch of Jambies.
I bought like 30 pairs of Jambies. I even cut a deal with him for the Milk Road to advertise. But I was like, pay me in Jambies credits. He gave us $2,000 of Jambies credits to run an ad. And I was like, dude, I'm eating off this $2,000 store credit right now. I've never been more thrilled.
Speaking of eating, I see on the top of our document that you have something called the Insane Pizza Business.
Yes.
What's that?
All right, you're going to know about this. I didn't know about this. So our buddy Val tweeted this out. He goes, the biggest pizza chain in the country is one I've never heard of, Hunt Brothers Pizza.
Yeah.
And here's the hook. These guys went in and basically found a new way to do the pizza business. They've spread to 9,000 stores. And I'm pretty sure, this is my guesswork, but I'm pretty sure they're doing over $500 million a year in revenue. And they're growing very, very fast. So what Hunt Brothers is, if you're like me and you're a dainty little flower that only lives in metropolitan areas,
civilized places.
Yeah, exactly. We cut our nails over here, okay? So I've never run into a Hunt Brothers, but apparently,
if you've never worn jorts before, there's a direct correlation of how often you've worn jorts and how often you've eaten Hunt's pizza.
That Venn diagram is a circle.
Yeah.
All right. So basically, what these guys do is they created a pizza restaurant that is only like 50 or 100 square feet. The way it works is they put them into a lot of times convenience stores, gas stations, places like that. And the owner of the gas station now has a little pizza shop inside. So he can pop in a pizza. It takes 5 minutes. It comes out kind of like, broiling hot, and they can sell them by the slice, or as they call them, by the hunk. And they sell a hunk of pizza. A hunk of pizza is a quarter, 1/4 of a pizza. And they sell it for like, a hunk is $2.89, or you can get 2 hunks for $5.49. Or you can get 2 hunks for free if you go to our YouTube channel and subscribe. Nice segue. Thank you very
Good
much.
job.
I really just do this to amuse myself at this point.
2 hunks
right.
for the price of a like. I dig it.
All right. So what these guys are doing, they basically, you buy you buy the equipment for 10 grand. So you give them 10 grand, they give you the thing. But then after that, there's no contract. There's no licensing fee. There's no royalty fee. So it's very different than a traditional franchise. All you do is you have to buy the ingredients from them. And so the way it works is you buy the ingredients from them. They have like, I don't know, distribution centers across the country. They have like, I don't know, what is it, like 100 something, 16 regional distribution centers, 100 trucks that are delivering pizzas daily to out of each center to do this. And it's crushing in the South and rural areas. Really, a lot of areas, it's like the dollar store, how the Dollar General or Dollar Tree really have thrived over the last decade. And one of the reasons is like, there's a whole bunch of places that are kind of stranded land. People don't build enough retail there. And so, the Dollar General becomes the spot. It becomes like the store you can use.
It's like where you go and get a gallon of milk.
Yeah, exactly. And so what these guys are doing is like, there's a Hunt Brothers inside the gas station. There might not be another restaurant for like 10 miles.
Yeah.
Or there might be just very few options. And so the Hunt Brothers becomes like, the de facto restaurant choice.
Have you ever been to a town that's been like that?
Yeah, my buddy, my best friend in college, my buddy Trevor, he was from a place called Lander, Wyoming. And I was like, I've never heard of Lander. And he's like, we got 5 traffic lights total.
Yeah.
There's one street that has like stop lights, and there's 5 of them, and that's it. We went there, and it's the only time in my life I've ever been like, yeah, let's just drunk drive. It's fine. There's no cars here. Like, we literally got drunk and we drove, and there's not a single car on the road because there's nobody in this town. There's like nobody. There was no human alive. He would leave his car key in the car in the ignition. When he just like go to a store, he'd just come back out and like the key is already in the ignition.
Dude, a lot of times they'll leave their car on. Like when I go and visit my cousins in these areas, they'll leave the car on.
He bought his car used, and he was one day at a gas station, and this giant Native American guy came up to him, was like, brother, is this your car? And he's like, yeah, it is. And he's like, hold on. He goes back to his car. He has a key. He's like, I used to have that car. Here's the key. Here's like an extra key that I've had for that car for a while. It's a crazy place. So anyways, there's places like that where Hunt Brothers does really, really well. I thought this is a pretty genius model because what they did was they changed the footprint. So in the same way that 5 Hour Energy said, let's not sell an energy drink in the fridge where we're competing against Red Bull and Monster. Let's create a small shot size, non-refrigerated SKU that we could put right up at the front by the register. They changed the footprint, and because of that, they were able to compete in a category because they became a category of one. We're the only energy drink that's a shot size at the register. And what Hunt Brothers is doing is they're like, we're going to create a new category. Forget Domino's, forget Pizza Hut. We're going to be the pizza that's in the gas stations. And it's ironic, when I was researching this, I thought like you, like, oh, this must be like, isn't it gross? Dude, people love this pizza. They're like, dude, they're like, honestly, it tastes better than the pizza I get at Domino's. Like the amount of like love that this brand has, it's almost become kind of one of those, it's so bad it's good.
Yeah, it's like White Castle. It's like White Castle, where it's like, it's just, it's distinct. So if you want it, that's the thing that's going to solve that problem. But
right.
It doesn't feel good.
And just here's the math on this. So a normal Hunt Brothers location might drive 10 grand a month of revenue. Okay. Now remember, they have no royalties. They have no licensing fees. They don't charge you a marketing surcharge. All they do is they just charge you for the ingredients. It's about 50% gross margin. So that means on 10,000 per location, they're doing 5 grand a month per location in the ingredients. 5 grand a month times 9,000 locations that they have is 45 million a month.
Holy shit.
Over 500 million a year. And they're like, dude, this is great. It's working. They're like, now we're going into military bases and basically like anywhere where you couldn't justify a full restaurant build out. We can still survive. Like we're like the cockroach of the industry. We can survive in places other people can't. So like, a Domino's might make 700,000 a year in revenue, and Hunt Brothers won't do that. They'll do 120 or 150 or 200. So they do less revenue, but they're only 100 square feet or 56 square feet, right? It's like tiny. And so they could just fit into places other people can't fit. And I just think it's an amazing business. I was blown away by the scale. And I think that there's actually many other businesses out there, like the 5 Hour Energy example, like Hunt Brothers, that if you just change the form factor, and you figure out how to do the sort of like the mutually, I forgot what it is. Like there's like a type of parasite that's mutually beneficial. It's like those fish that live on top of whales. They like, we eat the thing off you, but then we get all this other free stuff. That's basically Hunt Brothers. Because if you're a gas station, you put one of these in, people will come in. Well, guess what? They don't just buy the slice; they'll also buy a drink, and then they'll buy this and whatever. And they're like, for a long time, gas stations basically subside on oil, beer, and cigarettes. And now there's like a new one. There's like a fourth horseman, pizza. Pizza is now here. And so this like fresh food inside gas stations has become like a big win-win for them.
And they've been around forever. It looks like on Wikipedia, they started selling pizza in 1962, changed their business in 1991 to the current iteration. So they've been around for a long ass time.
They did a thing called Pepe's, I think. It was like Pepe's wholesale food or some shit like that. And they were doing kind of the same thing, but without the front-facing brand. So they were doing wholesale food, basically, selling food in wholesale to other places. So they had that kind of like the supply chain side of it, but they didn't have the brand. And so the brothers came together and they were like, what if we made the consumer brand for this? And it's kind of like a B2B2C model, right? We'll give the brand to these gas station owners, to these convenience stores, and then we'll supply the wholesale food like we already knew how to do.
What's even crazier is how weird things become culty. So, for example, have you had Cane's chicken?
Raising Cane's?
Raising Cane's, sorry. Raising Cane's. Like, it's okay. It's fine. But it just has like a crazy cult. It's just really, really weird how things kind of catch on. Like, and I'm really fascinated by that because Raising Cane's is fine. I guess like it's really weird how they serve their stuff in styrofoam still. And they just give you like a piece of bread. Like that's just kind of odd. And that's weird that it's now a cult thing amongst young people. And it's weird that this is also one of those things, but it takes like 30 years because it's almost like you have to grow up knowing that it's a thing. And then when you're grown up, it's got to be like the nostalgic thing that you post online about. Do you know what I'm saying?
It's not a game plan you can execute because it's not predictable. And it kind of takes 20, 30 years to do it. But when you do it, it's like when you, it's like those people who, get hot and they're in their 30s or something. It's like, what? That's found money. How'd you do that? And it's like these brands that they kind of just were like low stakes brands that survived. But then 25 years later, they become trendy. They're like, what the fuck? We're trendy now? These mom jeans are cool now? All right, sweet. I just had these because I liked them, right? And that's basically what happens to these brands is 25 years in, they get this gust of wind that like picks them up and makes them cool all of a sudden.
Do you remember XFL, like the alternative NFL, and they had crazy names in their jerseys like He Hate Me?
Of course.
Your XFL name is Shaan Found Money Puri.
That's Found Money.
that's your new nickname now. The guy who got hot in his 30s. You're officially Found Money. That's cool. I didn't think that this would interest you, and I like you more because it does.
I'm trying. It's actually part of my PR team was like, hey, you need something relatable, bro.
Yeah, you didn't know
blue collar. Hey, can we find a blue collar business for this guy to talk about here?
Shaan, we're tanking in the numbers because you didn't know who Dolly Parton was. We got to revitalize it. We got to make it more relatable.
My Q score is dropping. I got my fictional PR team over here. Like, guys, we need something.
Let me tell you another thing that is probably even more random. So listen to this. So in 2013, this 29-year-old Swedish software engineer, he posted on Reddit in a web development subreddit, and he said, I'm fiddling around with Google Maps and their new API, and I made a small application. I'd appreciate your feedback and suggestions. And you click on the link, and it's this thing called GeoGuessr. Have you ever heard of GeoGuessr?
No.
All right. This is going to blow your mind. And so his original application was a small thing where you basically see a random street view of Google Maps.
Oh, I've seen this.
And you have to guess where you are. And so they'll drop you off. Like you could do it depends how hard it is, but
like
it
you
could
just see a barn and you see like some grass and you see like a half of a road. And then on TikTok, there's these guys who are like, this is rural Kansas. And then they'll like drop the pin and they're within like 20 feet of it. It's like insane.
Yeah, and so like it could be easy. So it could be like Times Square or Athens or something like that. But then it gets more complicated where you'll get dropped in someplace in Ghana and you have to look at the license plate and you're like, the license plates are yellow. I know that's a thing in Ghana. And I also know that like these cars are this model of car. They quit selling that in Ghana. This might actually be this other location. And so it's like a contest, basically. It's a game. And it does okay. And so up until 2019, it's only doing okay. It's I believe it's a Swedish company and all the revenue is public. And so in 2019, the company did $467,000 in revenue and $61,000 in profit. So he's 5 years into this business, 6 years into the business, 3 years into the business, and it's doing okay and like barely a full-time living. Well, the pandemic hits. This thing explodes. And so listen to their revenue growth. 2020, 2 million. 21, 10 million. 22, 18, 23. They did 21 million in revenue and 11 million in EBITDA. And the owner took out $9 million in dividends. And so at this point, this thing is called GeoGuessr. So in 2019, 2020, the pandemic hits. People are sitting at home. Originally, it's just monetizing with some advertising, not doing that well. He decides to put up a paywall. So you have to pay for certain games. And his revenue blows up. And so does his traffic. And so at this point, this guy, GeoGuessr's, this website, it has 50 employees and it has 50 million registered users. And if you go to their traffic on SimilarWeb, it's like 12 or 15 million a month.
Totally.
And there are all these YouTubers and TikTokers who are famous now because of it. And so there's a YouTuber that I was looking at and I would watch his videos. He has something like 1.3 million subscribers. And in fact, GeoGuessr has created a World Cup. So it's $100,000 in prizes. And they do this like in-person event. And these guys get dropped off in the most random locations. And at sometimes within seconds, they can guess where they are to within like a mile. It's insane that this guy has built this company. And it's just amazing that something so small and so silly has become such a serious business.
This is an amazing find. Kudos to you. Love that you found this. I had no idea this was a business. I had seen the games of the guys guessing this, right? Like there's one guy, I mean, I can't even describe what he looks like, but he's like ingrained in my mind. I see him all the time on TikTok, who's just like, he's like a god at this. And it blows me away. What I didn't realize was that there's actually a business for this. I just assumed they're using Google Maps. I didn't even know that there's a website that does this, and that I went to it. I tried to sign up to play. I want to play while we're doing this, and you cannot play. You cannot do
play.
a single
you have to pay
guess until you pay. And the pricing is hilarious. It's like $249 a month to play like 5 minutes. Like you get to play once a day. But if you pay $289 a month, like for an extra like 40 cents, you can play unlimited. And my brain's like screaming the value. Just for 40 more cents, I get unlimited play. And so, I want to do this. We should play a game of this online. Do you have an account? We should play one.
No, I didn't sign up, but I should. The guy's YouTube who you're thinking about on TikTok, I think his name is Rainbolt. And I think he has over 1 million subscribers on YouTube, and his views are huge. And he's not the only one. There's tons of these guys doing this, and it's really actually wildly exciting to watch. It's very strange.
Dude, we should sponsor this. There's not many things I think we should sponsor. There's not many places where I want to be a big fish in the smallest of ponds. But if there's one, it's this Nerd Olympics of GeoGuessr, to be able to go and sponsor this thing for like, $19.99. Get the My First Million banner somewhere.
It's awesome, right?
We are the official podcast of GeoGuessr is what I would like to be.
It's really cool what these guys have done. And the cool part is that just like in the UK, so in the UK, there's a website called Companies House where you, if you're a company that does, I think, 10 million in revenue, you have to display your reports or your financials. I guess in Switzerland, or wait, is he Swedish? I think he's Swedish, sorry. In Sweden, you have to do the same. And so it was actually a little bit challenging to find these numbers because I've got to do all these translations. But you can actually see all of their numbers for their revenue and things like that. And so you can go back and track their growth. It's really fascinating.
I'm surprised. I mean, I'm surprised at many things. I'm surprised this thing's doing 20 million a year in revenue. I'm also surprised that it's only 50% margin. What do you think? What are this guy's costs? What is happening here?
I don't know. How much does hosting cost? You would know. You had one of these sites.
Not $10 million. Like, somebody get this brother an AWS plan. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, I don't know. 50 employees costs $5 million maybe. Or yeah.
Why does he have 50 employees? What are they doing?
I don't know, man. You got to look him up on LinkedIn. But I know that but on if you go to the GeoGuessr career page, they like list all their people. I don't know. I think they have a bunch of advertising stuff. So I think they have an ad sales team, because if you go to their like employee list, it's like developers, of course, but then like account managers, things like that.
So Google increased their Maps API costs 14x. So it went from $1 to $14 per 1,000 API calls. So that's got to be why.
And that's why he put the paywall in, because he's like,
Right.
Google's forcing me.
And by the way, 5 years ago, so he puts the paywall up. Here's a post on the subreddit for r/GeoGuessr. Title: Why the paywall is the worst idea ever. It says, so first of all, I understand that Google increased its API fees by this, and I understand that GeoGuessr needs to make money. However, I don't understand why all of a sudden there's a paywall. I can't play it all. Every single map, every single thing is this. Why do a paywall? Do more ads. Do you seriously think users are going to pay a subscription fee? I think 90% are going to leave and never come back. This move was in no way intelligent, especially because GeoGuessr is not the type of game you're going to keep playing and keep talking about. The paywall is a great way to make sure nobody ever plays your game again. So congratulations on ruining what you had spent years building and your best achievement. It is now your worst flop ever 5 years ago.
Well, I would say that the owner's new the broker of the owner's new penthouse overlooking Stockholm really disagrees that was a flop.
Sorry, I can't hear you from the 19th floor penthouse.
yeah.
Dude, this is amazing. And this is like the internet dork version of like a revenge bot. When you get this type of hater comment, and then you're proven absolutely correct. This is revenge.
Yeah, he gets the Found Money Award. I don't know if I used that correctly, but we'll just assume I did.
We're still workshopping it.
Yeah. So anyway, pretty sick, right? GeoGuessr. What do you got?
All right, I got a quick one for you. So this is my side hustle of the week. It's not quite a blue collar side hustle. It's actually a white collar side hustle. So this is a Ivy League side hustle. So saw this story the other day that Alex Eisler, I don't know how you say the last name, who is a sophomore at Brown University. So shout out to Alex, coolest sophomore at Brown. This person is basically flipping, high-end restaurant reservations. So the story was basically like, the guys basically created a ton of accounts on Resi, on OpenTable, calls in using fake voices, fake names, and he's getting reservations at Carbone and all these cool New York restaurants, like the hottest of the hot places. He gets them months in advance, and he flips it for $750. Or I got a restaurant, I got a reservation at Carbone, and he flips it for $1,500. And he says that in the last year, he's made $70,000 flipping restaurant reservations, $70,000 as a side hustle doing this. And his screen name on Appointment Trader is Glorious Seed 75.
Oh my God.
Which I know you were thinking about for baby names, and it was your second choice, but Glorious Seed is just a phenomenal name as well. Yeah, I'm a big fan of this kid.
That definitely was the nickname when she was in her mother's stomach. My Glorious Seed.
The quote I loved, it was this. Alex said, "It's like some people play Candy Crush on their phone. I played dinner reservations."
Was this in the New Yorker? Where was this?
Yeah, it was in the New Yorker, but it was like buried halfway through the story. So the story to me was, wow, some sophomore is making $70,000 flipping high-end restaurant reservations. That's awesome. But the New York article was like 15 pages long, and it was all about like how restaurants are really busy now. It's like, who is the editor of this? Like, you buried the viral story of this, 9 pages in. This is ridiculous.
That's insane. What do you think about that? I mean, so I think someone doing that, I think they're going to be incredibly successful. I think this will get shut down. He shouldn't have talked to the New Yorker.
Yeah, exactly. What are you doing? Oh, the only explanation that would make me respect them more is if this doesn't actually work anymore, and then they're like, all right, well, let me just go get some free PR as my like back end bonus out of this because like the arbitrage is going away or it's not working as well anymore. Yeah, I had like 2 crazy months during the pandemic or after the pandemic, stopped and everyone wanted to go to these restaurants. And my run rate was $70,000, but let me just feed this to the New Yorker and get some free press. That would be a cool story. If this was actually working really well and you went to the New Yorker to go talk about this, silly move. Don't need to do that. And yeah, I'm like you. This is actually a waste of time and talent but it does show me that you've got talent. And congratulations, you will be successful, but you're kind of wasting yourself right now.
It's not a waste for a 20-year-old. It's a worthy cause if you're a sophomore in college. But yeah, it'll be done. It's probably already dead. He probably already got Glorious Seed. Probably is already banned from that website.
Dude, when I was a sophomore in college, my friends and I had a genius idea to try to win the McDonald's Monopoly game. And unlike the movies where the guy who actually did it, he like figured out how to win, we just tried to brute force it.
You know how he figured out how to win, right? He just worked
cheated,
at the
right?
he worked
at
at
the factory.
He worked at the place that made the pieces.
So I would have respected myself more if I had contacted the place that made the pieces and been like, "Hey man, I'll give you $1,000 if you tell me where Boardwalk is." Instead, we were just like, "Hey, we're just gonna dig through dumpsters and go get the pieces that people throw out and see if we can win." And I ended up making like $3,000 that year.
Wait, did you really?
Yeah, we like found we like won something, and it was like worth like probably like $1,000. But I wasted like a semester of brain power, of like extracurricular brain power doing this, and I thought I was winning. And it's like winning a carnival game. It's like I won the bear. It's like, dude, you spent $90 winning that bear. You could have just bought the bear for $60, right? That's basically how I treated my college career. A bunch of really dumb side hustle ideas that kind of panned out. But if I had just done like something useful with my time, I would have made 10 times more in the long run.
Did you really? I mean, winning $1,000 on that thing is kind of like a rush. Have you ever won the lottery or like any type of scratch off?
I've won like raffles. I've won like poker tournaments. I think on scratchers, I've never had a big win. I've played a lot of scratchers. I'm probably down a couple of $1,000 lifetime on scratchers. Is my guess.
Wait, do you still buy them?
Not anymore, because my wife looks down on me for doing it. But there was like a 3-year period of my life where like if I saw a scratcher, I'm buying.
I have not bought a scratch off thing or a lottery ticket in my entire life.
That lines up. You're the same guy who sold his company and then put it all on his like a CD and never touched it. Congratulations.
I've been missing out.
So I'm a pretty degenerate gambler. And I have a lot of, like anyone who's a degenerate about anything, you have stories that it sounds like you're rock bottom and you're like, bro, that's just scratching the surface of what I've done. I've gone on riverboats and I've, overdrawn my account and I've done really dumb stuff when I was in my early 20s gambling. So I love gambling. And if you take me to a casino, I'm happy as a clam. But I went with my mentor, my investor, who's a billionaire. I went with my mentor, Michael Birch, and we go to Vegas for like a conference or for a meeting. We're going to go meet Rupert Murdoch, actually. And so we're there for this big meeting, and we're staying at the Wynn, I think. And we go down to the floor. And any degenerate knows, like, there is a certain feeling that comes over your body when you walk the floor of a casino. When you enter the casino, it's like something about the air, the sounds. It like physiologically does something in my body.
For sure.
And so I'm like, Michael, you want to play? I'm like, let's find a table. We got, a couple hours before this thing. Let's gamble. And I'm just like, I want to gamble, but I'm also, I'm trying to hang out with him and I'm trying to be cool and whatever.
And you're only like 26 or 27?
I'm 25 years old, maybe.
25.
He's 40 or something like that. 45. I don't know how old he is. And he's like, 1,000, whatever, 10,000 times wealthier than me and smarter than me. He's everything better than me. And so that became very apparent because he's like, I was like, do you gamble? And he's like, not really. And I was like, oh, why? Like, you don't like it or whatever. He's like, why would I gamble? The house has an edge, right? And and I have these chips in my hand and I just put them back in my pocket. And I really haven't gambled since because I was like, oh, so the rich, successful guy I admire just pointed out, he's like, yeah, like this is a losing game. Why would I play a losing game? And just him saying that, my mom has told me to stop gambling. I've had friends being like, yo, you should, why don't you just not do it? And then nothing has ever sunk in except for this guy just being like, why would I play? The house has an edge.
I thought you were going to like right when you walk into the casino, you turn your hat backwards and you like untuck your shirt and you're like, Poker Sean's here.
I have a different dialect. I'm like Prison Mike from The Office.
Or Date Mike. Yeah, like Date Mike. Nice to meet me. Yeah, I thought you were gonna just like change. Like, thanks for holding my money, and just start saying that to people. Speaking of money, we got to get a shout out to one of our sponsors, Beehive.
Yeah, what's not a gamble? Starting a newsletter on Beehive. You know what's not a gamble? Putting your content out there for the world to love. And you know who's making money instead of, pissing it away? Tyler Denk, the CEO of Beehive, who just raised a crazy amount of money, $33 million announced yesterday. And then he opened up some community round. He's like, oh, by the way, like, if you want to invest in Beehive and you missed out on the fund, and he just posted it in 2 hours, they crossed $1 million of community money raised.
No
this
way.
Guy's created an amazing PR halo. He's creating a cult of believers. It's pretty impressive to see what he's doing.
And I think I'm one of the believers. I had the opportunity to invest in this when they first started, and I passed. I don't remember what the valuation was. What was it, 10?
It was under 10. I think we both passed under 10. I realized my sins, and I came and I said, Father, forgive me. Let me invest. After I started using the product, and then I was like, still I was using the product. I still really wasn't fully convinced because I don't know how big this market is. How big is newsletters? Is this too niche? And then they kept shipping updates so fast and building features so well. I was like, okay, I've learned enough times in my career, just don't bet on a workhorse founder and a team that ships this fast for a product you love and you use. Just if those boxes are checked, just invest. It's okay. You might be surprised on the upside with the market, which it seems like I guess is the case here because they've really taken off. But I normally do not sell. I have a policy actually. I think this should be an official MFM policy, which is we do not celebrate fundraising news. Fundraising is not to be celebrated. I mean, think about what you're saying when you celebrate fundraising. It's either a combination of congratulations, now the game is starting. You don't get cheered for to start the game. You get cheered when you win. The second thing is it's congratulations, you gave up a piece of your company, right? You shouldn't really celebrate fundraising too much.
I thought this was an ad for them where we're supposed to make them look cool.
But here's why I like it. Because he said something. He had a great quote. And if I'm a sucker for one thing, it's a great quote. And he said, in his Slack to his team, he's like, all right, guys, money's in the bank, but the rent's still due.
That's so good.
I don't even know fully what that means, but that sounds like some mafia shit, and I dig it. Which is some version of cool, we got all the funding, but we still got this doesn't mean anything. We still got to pay the rent. We got to put in the work and actually deliver. And so I like that line. That's the only reason I'm willing to talk about the fundraising, because he said the rent's still due. And I think the rent still due is just a great slogan.
He also had in the TechCrunch article, he goes, look, we're only 2 years into this and we have 1 billion emails going out. And that line does in itself isn't a lot, but the fact that this guy is this, I don't like using the word cocky because that's negative, but he's so confident. I love what he has. And I don't know what the valuation was for this. Maybe it was probably north of $100 million. So he's right. I'm wrong. I lost on that one. So kudos to Beehive. And if you want to start a newsletter, Beehive with 2 I's. They still need to change their name though. Beehive.com.
All right. Okay. So what else? What else you got?
Let's talk about Nick Gray. So Nick Gray's the hottest thing going on the internet right now. So Nick Gray is a good friend of mine, good friend of yours. I've known Nick for a little bit now. He's the weirdest person I've ever met. So one time Sarah and I are in New York. He DMs me on Twitter. I've never met him. He goes, hey, I want to take you to Washington Square Park and give you a tour. We go there and we just start hanging out. And he pulls out a blanket that he goes, yeah, I keep a picnic blanket in my bag at all times. And he lays it out. I'm like, all right, cool. And then he goes, hey, do you want to throw the Frisbee? I always keep a Frisbee on me. And he has a Frisbee. And then I was like, I guess. And he goes, and we get done with that. And he goes, hey, do you want to fly a kite? I always have a kite on me. And so he pulls out a kite.
Hey, you want a kiss? I got lips.
Yeah.
That's the next one.
And I'm like, this is the weirdest guy I've ever met. And then I get to know him over the years. And I realize it's totally genuine. You're just a weird guy. And this is it's an act. So fast forward a few years later, Nick has written a book called The 2 Hour Cocktail Party. He's,
by the way, none of this is an ad. We admire this guy's weirdness. He lets his freak flag fly. We dig that. And he just did something interesting, which is what we're about to get to.
Yeah. And so he starts getting a little popular on the internet and he tweets something out last week. Here's the tweet. I'll read it verbatim. He goes, I want to go on a blind date and I want to go to Tokyo next weekend. Here's the qualifications. If you're a woman with a passport who likes sushi and Japanese food, and you could ride a bike in a big city, let's go and I'll pay for everything. But in return, you have to film stupid videos of me for my socials. And then he puts out an application where you could sign up on a Google Doc. So I called him. Do you know how many applications he got to this? 400 women applied to go with him. And he sorts through all the listings and he sends me his top 5 and his top 10 and he does calls with them. to figure out if it's what he says a culture fit. He's like, I want to see if it's basically like a job interview. He's like, I want to see if this is a culture fit. And so this post that he writes about or writes on Twitter, it gets something like 2 million views, the original tweet. And people are so bought in. Now, fast forward a few days ago, he's on the date. He picks the girl. Up until recently, he never showed the woman, but he is tweeting out and documenting the whole thing, saying, I just picked up flowers for her. I'm about to go pick her up at the airport. I've scheduled a ramen dinner for us, and then we're going to do this, this, and this. I'm nervous. And he's like explaining his inner dialogue publicly. Each tweet is getting hundreds of thousands or millions of views. And he's saying exactly what's going on. Eventually, he shares her face and they look like they're having a blast. And I talked to him and people are reaching out to him from all over Japan. And like he goes, we just got this amazing dinner reservation because this man owns this restaurant who's hosting us. Or we're going to host a meetup with all the people who are following along. And the date goes so well, they've extended the date. So right now it's Wednesday. I believe they're still there. It was only supposed to be a couple of days. They're 5 or 6 days in. He has Netflix and Amazon reaching out to him about a show for this. It's just like one of the most viral things that I've seen about such a weird topic. And people are so bought in. I've got so many people messaging me saying, are you following what Nick just did? Nick just shared that the date's going well. I'm so invested into this.
That's exactly it. I'm so invested into this. I love this on so many levels. The main thing is just, I love that Nick's just being himself. And I love that he, like, there's many ways to be rich. We've talked about this before. You could be rich with money. You could be rich with time. You could be rich with friends. Nick's life is rich with fun and adventure. And I think that is something that's why this is resonating, because I think there's a deep part of a lot of us that is like, am I making the most of my time on this little blueberry, right? Like, am I making the most out of my time in life? And I think what Nick has done with this Tokyo date, to me, it's not about dating. It's not about anything. It's this guy is like living, he's having an adventure. He's having fun. And we want to go along for the ride. And so I think we should actually go tweet by tweet with this thing.
Go.
Dive deep for anybody who's not following this. So tweet one. We'll put this on the screen on YouTube so you can see it all. And you can see pictures of her. And so go to the YouTube channel where it's My First Million. You'll see it. So, all right. So tweet one is, he goes, I want to do a blind date in Tokyo next weekend. You read that out. He puts a Google Doc. Let's read the Google Doc. You open up the Google Doc and it says, Nick Ray's Tokyo blind date. Do you like sushi? Do you like exploring new cities? Do you like blonde guys with glasses? If so, come to Tokyo for a blind date next weekend. It'll be fun. Possible itinerary. You arrive April 25th. You leave April 28th. It's now May 1st. They're still going. It's like, we play spin the bottle and they got, 7 minutes in heaven. It's been 11 minutes. What is going on in this closet over there? I must know. So he says, if you've never been to Tokyo, we're going to do some touristy stuff, blah, blah, blah. We're going to go to Shinjuku at night, go to some hot springs, team lab, tea tastings, this park. Each day we'll try 2 or 3 restaurants, maybe 4. We'll walk a lot, shop, eat, and explore. Why I'm doing this. I went to Tokyo last summer and it was excellent. But after a few days, I wish that I had a fun, cute friend traveling with me. Just to say that out loud. I mean, I'm not even saying that. And even a part of me, clenched up when I had to read those words. Okay. I just wish I had a fun, cute friend traveling with me. All right. So I wanted to talk and share stories with and also film me for my dumb Instagram reels. Logistics. I'll get you a flight. I'll get you a hotel room. Is this crazy? I guess, but it also sounds fun. Yes, exactly. That's the sweet spot of life. Feel free to reference check me here to apply, blah, blah, blah. And so you had to email him to apply. So you said he had how much? 400 women apply?
400.
Which, let's just take a moment to admire that.
Yeah.
So you can go on a dating app as a guy, and normally it's you send 400 messages to get one back. He sent one message out and got 400 women coming inbound.
Yeah.
Work smarter, not harder, my friends.
Yeah.
All right. So that's tweet one.
He also tweeted out the conversion rate between the Japanese yen and the US dollar. And he was like, all of you people thought I was going to be spending a lot. Turns out it just turned in my favor. And he's like, tweeting out like the
universe is conspiring to help Nick Gray with this date. So he's giving updates kind of play by play. So he's like, I'm flying out. Here's what I'm going to do. He's like, here's the agenda. He's like, she's, I'm on my way to the airport. She's on her way to the airport. I'm going to pick her up. I'm going to get flowers. He does a poll on Twitter. Should I bring flowers? Yes, bring the flowers. No, chill vibes. Guess which one won the poll?
Which one?
55% bring flowers,
Of
45%
course.
too try hardy.
Dude, 45% of Twitters are losers. That's an easy...
He's promoting his blog. He's like, by the way, I'm traveling. Here's my travel pack of must-haves. He's got refreshed tears. He's got his eye mask. He's got like some tape. I don't know why he's bringing tape. Things are getting a little crazy here. He's got a toothbrush. Okay, so he's going step by step as to how he's going to do this. Okay, so now he picks her up.
And he never shows her face. He only
Never shows her face, which is
like,
brilliant.
like her hands accepting the flowers or the back of her head as she's taking a picture in awe of the Tokyo skyline.
So let's just read. He's at the airport. He goes, he's like my blind date update. So he goes, waiting for someone at the airport is humbling. You're scanning hundreds of people's faces, trying to find the one person who you've never met before. Each passing person is no, not her, no, not her, until I see her come out. I pump my fist in the air and call her name. She runs over and we sort of half hug. We look at each other square up and full smile. I think we're both thinking the same thing. Wow, you are real. She might have been thinking something else, but I think that's hilarious. At least I have a feeling deep in my stomach that is, yes, she is real. That's a relief. I knew she'd be real, but you never know. What are people in the internet saying about us? She asked me. I say it's 90% hype and 10% worry that you're going to cut out my kidneys. I like those odds, she says. Damn, full rom com. We're going full rom com. This is great. I send her on a side quest while I handled the train tickets to get us back to downtown Tokyo. We board the train and start talking. Conversation comes easily. Our ramen tour starts in 2 hours. The comments blow up. People are fully in, subscriptions on, notifications on. I got to do this. So then he talks about, I booked a ramen tour for 2 reasons. If it was awkward for us to talk, then somebody else would be leading the conversations, the tour guide. And it would keep her awake till 9 p.m. through the jet lag. So we meet, we do this, we do that. We tell our tour guide that we're on a blind date. He believes he misunderstood us, or we must have misstated this. He said, but you said you just flew in. How did you meet? I explain what's going on with the date. The guide is confused, but he likes it and he likes us. She and I share a glance and smile. The ramen is good and I like her. End of chapter.
Dude, he's doing great writing this.
50 Shades of Nick Gray is actually the name of this date, dude. This is incredible. So he's going, and I love that there was one there he was talking about. He was just like, honestly, I'm exhausted. I kind of overplanned. Like my nervous energy around this made me like schedule too many things. I'm feeling exhausted. I just said goodnight, and like, honestly, I'm just totally pooped out. Tomorrow, I'm gonna act a little bit differently. I'm just gonna settle in a little bit. And every day, step by step, has just been thrilling. He did a meetup. So he's like, I'm hosting a Tokyo meetup for us. Anybody who's following the blind date. And then he posts a picture in the park and there's like 20 people there. He's holding his book. It's his date, him, and 20 random people in Tokyo who are like fully invested in this date that came for a meetup.
Dude, so listen to this. So on one of the 2 hours ago, he posted, it's late. I'm always late. We are running through the side streets of Tokyo's most upscale neighborhood to make our dinner reservations. She's wearing eyeliner and I have on my least wrinkled shirt. It will be our last big meal together and I want to make it special. In 2 hours, we'll cry over a plate of Kobe beef. I get a message. I'd like to treat you and your date to a fancy dinner in Tokyo. I love the stories you share and I'll pay for everything. Please enjoy. But what's the catch? The foreign man I don't know has a travel company that does reservations. Nice reservations are hard to find in Tokyo. The catch is that we'll like it and we'll share. I grab her hand and I risk a jaywalk to sprint us towards the skyscraper. You have the royal option is the only thing the waiter says before a train of lobster, shrimp, and beef is sent our way. We eat and joke about how ridiculous the amount of food is, and we have a sense of excitement and dread about how this meal will play out. And it's a picture of this massive amount of food overlooking Tokyo, and he's just writing these almost poetic posts the entire time as he goes. This is just great. This is great. And I texted him, and I'm not going to blow his story, but I think they like each other. And he said that he'll come on the pod. He goes, I don't know if I want to. And I go, okay, no pressure. And then he replies back. He goes, actually, you guys promoted me for a long time. I'll come on and we'll talk about it. And so he's going to come on, but it seems they like each other.
I'm so in. My first marriage. Let's go. I've been waiting for an opportunity to turn our whole podcast into a dating show. And I think the time has finally come. Nick, you're the man. This is a reminder to everybody. Step up your adventure. Do something fun. Do something a little bit out of the box. And good things happen in your life. I really do believe that. He created a situation to get lucky, that cool things would happen, that whether this date works out or not is sort of irrelevant. He's going to have a great adventure, a great story to tell. and he opened up the door to where maybe Lady Luck can walk in.
What if he marries this woman?
I don't know if my little heart can take it.
if he married,
I only got 2 ventricles, brother. That would fill it up too much.
I had a person come to my house one time, and they were bringing their new girlfriend, and I find out that they're staying at they stayed at my house for 5 nights. I found out on the 3rd night that this is a blind date and the first time that they've met, and they got married a few weeks ago.
That's great. All right. Do we have anything else? I got a little bit of I have one sort of life advice type thing I liked.
Let me hear.
So this is not new, actually. We did a podcast with Scott Galloway, which maybe it's come out by the time this comes out. I don't know exactly. And Scott said a bunch of things. He talked about his business, he talks about his money, but he said one thing in the middle that has stuck with me days later. Like I honestly can't really remember a bunch of the stuff he said about money, but this one little phrase stuck with me. And I kind of want to give it some extra shine. You know, in the set we talked about don't bury the lead. To me, this was actually the lead. And we had talked to him about when he was younger and he's pretty open about going through tough times. He talks about when he went through a divorce. He talks about when he, hadn't made it yet. He talks about his insecurities. And he said something, which was like, he goes, you got to keep your sales up. And I was like, keep your sales up? What did you mean by that? Keep your sales up. He's like, like even when things were going poorly, I didn't let things go poorly. Even if I felt down, I didn't take actions that were down. He's like, so even when things weren't going my way, I got down, but I didn't stay down. He goes, I kept my sales up so that he's like, I started eating right. I cleaned up my room. I would make sure every day I would go out and I would talk to people. And, he's like, I just did little things. I would try to be kind and try to be generous to somebody that day. Even though I was feeling kind of low and I felt like things weren't going the right way, I started taking actions. I kept my sales up so that when the next gust of wind came, I would be ready. And that's what happened. The wind came and I was ready because I had my sales up. And I just thought that was a beautiful life metaphor and just a great philosophy to have, which is like, you got to keep your sales up because the things that happen that are good in your life are not fully, your doing. They're not your creation. There's tons of market conditions and luck and, contributions from other people that help you out, that come your way. That's the wind. And you can't control the wind. But the thing you can control is having your sales up so that when the wind comes, you actually get a benefit from it. Like if you're in such a lull or you're in such a low point or you're in such a funk that even when the wind comes, you weren't ready for it, it passed you by. Now that's on you. And so I just love that metaphor, that philosophy of life. And I wanted to kind of bring some attention to it. What do you think about that?
It was good to hear from him about it because he had a lot of, first of all, he was a late bloomer in terms of traditional success. So he told the story about how he had a bunch of companies that actually were doing good, but he lost them. He got fired from them. He told the story about how he didn't have a relationship with his father and his single mother. It was a hard upbringing. He got divorced. And he had his first kid, I think when he was 40 or something like that, a little bit later in life. And he was like, I have to make money to provide for this kid. I can't just be jerking off. Like I've been messing around a little bit too much. And it was good to hear that advice from him because I admire him and he was sort of a late bloomer. And so I know that he experienced hardship and he actually is living this life of keeping your sales up. And so that's why it was particularly special. It was better to hear that from him this versus some like 28-year-old, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. If you see like a 24-year-old on TikTok talking about this, like you have the right idea. You just don't have the scars to prove it. And I thought Scott has the scars to prove it. And I just love the phrasing, even when I was down, I didn't stay down. That's so powerful, dude. You're allowed to go down, but you're not allowed to stay down. And also like a lot of these little things, I never had the words to explain it, but it resonated with me because like, I'll do things where, if I'm feeling a certain way, I'll be like, all right, I'm making my bed this morning. Or fuck it, I'm going for a run. I don't even like running. I suck at running, but I'm going for a run. I'm going to run till I cramp. And it's like, all right, I'm going to run till I cramp. It's like, why do those things? On the surface, making your bed seems like a nothing action. And it's like, dude, making your bed's not going to help you, go get that girl or not going to help you, recover from this breakup or go get the job or go get whatever, help turn your business around. But like anybody who's actually done it knows that actually those things are linked. You don't know how they're linked. And this phrase to me is a great way to link them. It's like, I'm not just making my bed. I'm getting my sales up today. And all of these little actions I'm taking, I'm getting my sales up. And I kind of like at the end, I can connect the dots of like, what were all those actions and little habits that like, instinctively in my gut, I knew were the right thing to do, but I couldn't have logicked and told you why that matters. Now I know why it matters. It's because that's getting your sales up so that now that when the win comes, you're ready.
There's this awesome video that's not very popular, but it's so good. It's the guy from SNL. I think his name's Tom Bennett. He made this.
No, dude, it's an essay. It was an essay it was a blog first, and then they turned it into a movie.
Wait, really?
A blog post became
you know about
movie.
This.
Oh, dude, it's one of the best blog posts ever.
It's one of the video is so good.
Okay, so this guy, Aaron, is the guy who wrote it. He goes, it's called How to Lose Weight in 4 Easy Steps.
Yeah.
And he goes, I spent the past year losing 80 pounds and getting in shape. A lot of people ask me how I did it, specifics on my diet, how many times I worked out. So I thought I'd just answer all my questions here. It's just 4 easy steps. Ready? Here we go. Number 1, no beer. There's probably one you've heard of before, but every time you drink a beer, it's like eating 7 slices of bread. That's a lot of bread. Number 2, portion control. It is especially true when you go to restaurants and your meal comes, cut it in half and ask the waiter right away for a takeout container so you can save the second half for later. Number 3, have your heart broken. And not just broken, shattered into itsy bitsy tiny little pieces by a girl who never loved you and never will. And then the rest of the post is basically about the heartbreak. And I was like, wow. I remember reading that intro and I fucking cleared my calendar. I was like, I am going to sink into this blog post. Whoever wrote this is genius level writing, and I loved it.
And the whole step 3 is like, get your heart broken. And then it's like, start going for walks to feel better. And so you start going to the gym, and you previously thought that gym rats were a bunch of bros, and now you realize that they're your family. And you start making puddles, and you start eating chicken and more chicken, and you make more puddles and you repeat every day. And then suddenly...
let's read some of this is beautiful. Let's just read some of it. So, by a girl who never loved you and never will. Join the gym at your work. Start going to the gym regularly, even though you don't know much about exercise and you're way too weak to do anything except for lift 5-pound weights and do the elliptical machines with the old people. Do it until your sweat makes a puddle on the floor. Then go home, go to bed early, and do it again the next day, and again and again. Listen to stories of your ex-girlfriend fucking around with gross and terrible people. Stories from your friends who think they're doing you a favor. Go to the gym and make more puddles of sweat. Buy books. Learn about muscle groups and how they work together. Start eating healthy. Start planning your meals. Try to forget her. More puddles. And then it just keeps going and keeps going. And then it's like, it talks about I'm going to see if I can find one more at the end here.
And then eventually he meets a girl or something like that at the gym.
Yeah, you make puddle after puddle and eat single chicken breasts and work and sleep, and the weather gets warm and the weather gets cold, and all you know is Taylor Swift songs by heart, and the only thing that exists in the entire universe is you and the gym. And there's a different sort of happiness. It comes at night when you're the last person in the gym, and it's you and the girl who does weird leg exercises. You end up walking out at the same time. Her name's Melissa. She works at the building next to you. She's worked there for 2 years. She asks you for dinner on Friday, promising it'll be healthy. The leg exercises she's doing, by the way, are called pivoting curtsy lunges. And then it goes into the love story.
And then it ends with step 4, no sugar.
Yeah, no fruit juice.
Yeah,
Too
no
much
fruit
sugar.
Juice. One of the best posts. I watched that. I remember when I first watched. You get teary eyed. It's because I guess it was a blog post first. I didn't know that, and then it was a YouTube video, and then I guess a whole movie. The YouTube video, it gets me teary eyed, and it gets me so motivated whenever I watch this. So that's a little bit similar to Scott Galloway's Keep Your Sales Up. This was just like the most positive episode we've ever done.
Yeah, positivity, baby. That's it. That's the pod. All right, we have a big announcement, possibly the biggest announcement of the year from us. So pay attention, turn the headphones up. We are doing a challenge called My First Muscle. Instead of My First Million, this is My First Muscle. It is a fitness challenge that we're doing. We want everybody to get involved with it. Sam, tell them how it works and why we're doing it.
All right, so here's what it is. Summer's coming up. We got this thing called the Pod Bod. We've been sitting here. I think we're on 650 episodes or so. We want to get fit. So it's a challenge. It's a race, actually. It's 100 push-ups, 100 squats, 100 burpees. 100 times 100 times 100. That's your first million. And it's hopefully going to be your first million muscle. So here's what you're going to do. You can do any order. You can start with burpees. You can start with squats. It doesn't matter. But when you do a burpee, you got to go nips to the floor. Your chest has to touch the floor. And then you hop up. And when you jump up to the top of the burpee, your feet need to leave the ground. And you should film yourself doing it. And when you film yourself doing it, you have to time yourself too. And then you have to share the video with us at My First Meal Pod on Twitter.
Exactly. Or you can tag me and Sam directly. Either way. So just to summarize, turn a timer on. Best case scenario, you film it too, but at least turn the timer on and do it. You have as much time as you need to complete 100 push-ups, 100 air squats, so no weight, and then 100 burpees. And you can mix it up and you could do them in whatever sets of 5 or 10 or however you want to mix it up. You just got to get it done. That's the challenge. You've heard of 75 hard. You've heard of the Murph. Well, this is our version of that. My first muscle. Me and Sam are going to be doing it. We're going to film it. We're going to post our videos of us doing it. Sam, what do you think your prediction, your time is going to be? You're a super fit guy.
I'm going to break 20 minutes. That's my goal. And I think I'll be in the 90th percentile. 20 minutes, I think, is 90th percentile. I think the winner will be 15 minutes.
I predict that I will be far above 20 minutes. I think I'm going to be closer to 35 to 40 minutes. I did a little test run. I went 80%, 70%, and it took me like 42 minutes. And so that was just V1.
That's okay.
I was a nibble. It was a Costco sample of it. I just need to now iterate and get better.
There's two things here. The first is just doing it. So I think doing it, I have a feeling you're going to see thousands of people doing it. I think it's going to be cool to see that you're going to do it.
Well, let's talk about the doing it first. You brought this idea from Jesse Itzler about the misogi, a hard physical challenge that you do, something that makes you a little bit scared, that pushes you past your limits. It's good to do these. And instead of having everybody come up with a misogi, we want to give the community one that we can all kind of share, all do together. And I don't care if you're out of shape, don't let that be the reason you don't do this. If you can do push-ups on your knees, do push-ups on your knees. All right. You might not win the prize, but get it done. You'll be proud of yourself when you get it done. And I think there's an amazing feeling on the other side of doing this. And that's who you want to be. Now let's talk about the prizes. So if you want to be eligible for the prizes, you got to do it legit and you got to have a video camera when you're doing it. Otherwise, we don't know if you're, this is not the gentleman's agreement. You got to actually show some proof if you actually do this thing. We've seen some amazing videos come in. So a couple of people heard about the announcement early and started doing them. Did you see these girls who did them in their peanut butter and jelly costume?
That was awesome.
There's a guy who's doing it out in a field in just a set of overalls. That's hilarious. It's amazing.
All right. And so here's the prizes. So we got the company plunge.com. We got them to give us 2 cold plunges. I think these are like $6 or $7 grand a piece. So they're going to give them away. We're going to give one to the fastest male, one to the fastest female. And then we got Nike Strength to give away a bunch of bumper plates and a whole bunch of workout equipment. That's going to go to 3 other people. Who are the 3 other people?
Well, it's our discretion. We're the judges and we're looking for 3 things. We're looking for creativity. So best dressed is one area I'm looking at. Another one is creativity on the video. And the last one is just inspiration. This is the Rudy Award. So for whoever really we watch the video and we are rooting for you, you will win a prize as well. But we're all winners if you do the thing because, I don't know, you had the option not to. Could have easily chickened out. Could have easily said it's too hard. Could have easily said you're too busy, but you didn't take any of those excuses. You're the real winner.
And to make sure there's no excuses, we have a timeline on this. It's going to end on May 12th, which is this Sunday. So you don't actually have a lot of time to get this done. So if you're listening to this, you might go do it in the next 30 minutes and just get it out the way.
Exactly. All right. I'm excited. My first muscle. Let's go. We got to get rid of Podbod. Podbod is a plague. It's getting so many people. Don't be caught up in Podbod.
And we have to say one last thing. In order to get any of the prizes, you have to subscribe to our YouTube channel and to our podcast on Spotify and on iTunes. You have to subscribe. That part is the gentleman's agreement. We're giving away all these prizes and we're trying to make everyone get a little bit healthier. All we ask for in exchange is just to subscribe. It costs you nothing and it means a lot to us. So that's all you have to do. Check it out. My First Muscle Challenge.
Do it. Post it. Tag me and Sam on Twitter. I'm at Shaan VP. He's at the Sampar. Send us your videos. We can't wait to see him.
I feel like I can rule the world. I know I could be what I want to. I put my all in it like no days off. On the road, let's travel, never looking back.